Good morning, Mega Podlings. It's Crazy Joe. How's everyone doing today? Hang on a second. I'm trying to turn the chat off on my phone. Let's see. None. There we go. Now the chat will not distract me up here, but I can still see it down here. I got the best of both worlds going. So, good morning, Mega Podlings. It's Crazy Joe. It's Crazy After Dark. It's Wednesday. Hump Day. We've got Joey Baseball. We've got Todd, John Hine, Brent, Bobby. Boredom Strikes. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the party. I am here. Otto, the automatic pilot, is here. Dr. Zayas is here. Super Chat Hippo is here. Christmas Flamingo is here. We're all here. We're all here for you, and you're here. That's the important thing. We're getting weird already. It is already getting weird. My God, Christmas Flamingo. Would you sit up? Would you sit up? You're a Christmas Flamingo. Show some respect. Anyway, Movie Edge is in the house. Welcome, Movie Edge. And I've knocked down my Andy Kaufman action figure. Anyway, we are getting weird already on Crazy After Dark. Blu-ray Snob. That's not Rick, is it? Doesn't look like Rick in the picture. Did you steal Rick's name? Blu-ray Snob. Anyway, my 4-year-old saw a... Todd says my 4-year-old saw a Cinema Sickness live stream with you in the background and said, "Hey, it's the keep wearing the pajamas and clean teeth, dirty streets guy." Wow, that makes me happy. I like that. I like hearing that. Lisa is in the house. Welcome, Lisa. Movie Edge says, "Oh no, there's toys in your videos." There's toys all over this place. There's a My Pet Monster right over there. There's toys back here. Toys everywhere. Jamel is here. Blu-ray Snob says, "No, I asked Rick before I changed my name. What was your old name?" What was your old name? Alex Acosta says, "Nice shirt." Well, thank you. It says, "Rad Dad." Todd R says, "You're famous with the sandbox crowd." Well, let's keep in mind that this channel is marked as not intended for children because YouTube is striking down with furious anger those channels that are aimed at children. So we keep it family friendly here, but this is not considered a children's channel. So let's just keep that in mind to the powers that be at YouTube. Kyle, the Steven Seagal fan 2000 says, "Hey Joe, I was just saying that you like Under Siege." Under Siege is all right. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but I liked it. It was fine. I don't think I've seen it since the 90s, to be honest with you. And I never saw Under Siege 2. I never saw that. Is that any good? I don't even know. But yeah, Under Siege is okay. Jamel asked how my day was. My day was good. How was your day, Jamel? Bohemia Movies and More is here. Movie Edge says, "So it's suitable for kids to watch." I like to think so. We try to keep it suitable. Jesse says, I saw you on the John Campia live stream this afternoon. You saw me on the live stream? I'm confused. I'm very confused. How did that happen? Oh, I put a comment in the chat this afternoon. Yeah, I certainly wasn't on his live stream. I'd love to be on his live stream. That would be awesome. But I know Brent says, "Are you worried about the YouTube stuff?" Worried would be strong. I don't know that I'm worried. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not really losing sleep over it either. Lisa says, "How did the Muppet Bash go?" The Muppet Bash went quite well. The kids seemed to like... Actually, if we're being honest, the kids seemed to just be sitting staring at their phones while the Muppet movie happened to be playing. To those of you that don't know, my 12-year-old had a birthday party last weekend, and she chose a Muppet movie theme. Yeah, it was a Muppet party. But I don't know that the kids were really watching the movie. Sinister Sickness 1990, as you can tell, I'm a fan of the crew. Yes. Boredom Strike says Under Siege 2 is a guilty pleasure of mine. Alex Acosta says skip Under Siege 2. The first one is the best. Movie Edge says toys are collectibles. Toys. They're toys. Collectibles makes them sound too serious. Toys makes them more fun. Joey says you have a lot of toys. Is this video made for kids? No, because they're not for the kids. The kids aren't allowed to touch those toys. Those are daddy's toys. Jesse says, hi, yes, I saw your comment in the chat. My bad. So anyway, what Jesse was talking about, the John Campea show is a YouTube show, comes on live every day at noon. It's movie discussion. I tend to watch it on my lunch breaks. And in the last couple days, there has been a little bit of a controversy over something that Kathleen Kennedy is the Grand Emperor of all things Star Wars over at Disney. And she made a comment that some people really got upset about. And I don't understand about why people got so upset, because quite frankly, I agree with her. I think she's right. I think she's absolutely right. And her comment was that Star Wars, unlike like Marvel Comics or DC Comics, is a little bit harder because they have to come up with everything themselves. She said there's no source material. There's no comics, there's no novels, there's no source material. So people got really upset and were like, how could she say there's no comics and novels? There's hundreds of comics and novels. And this is true. There are hundreds of comics and novels, but I maintain that what she said is absolutely accurate, because what she said is there's no source material. And with Star Wars, the comics and the novels are tie-in media. The movies themselves are the source. Star Wars movies are the source, and the comics and the novels spring forth from the movies. Whereas Batman originated in a comic book. That's where he started. Batman started in the comic. So the comic is the source, and the movies are adapting the comic. With Star Wars, it's the other way around. They made a movie. This movie is the thing. This is the thing. This is where the franchise is. And then these other things are offshoots, and they're tie-ins to the main franchise. They are not the source. So I understood exactly what Kathleen Kennedy was saying, and I was like, and then it was a main topic on the John Campea show today, and I was like, why is this a main topic? Why is this a main topic? She's right. She's right. The comics and the novels are not the source material for Star Wars. They are not the source material. They came after. The movies are the source material. So I say she's absolutely right, but apparently this really got a lot of people upset. Anyway, Movie Edge says, I don't get paid for my channel, so F them. Joey Baseball says John Campea is a pompous windbag. I don't know about that. I mean, I think he's very fair. He takes things from every perspective. I like the guy. Sometimes he's just dead wrong, but that's everybody. Everybody gets it wrong sometimes. Brent Oberlin says, do you like Yogi Bear's All-Star Christmas Caper? I've never seen that one. I love Christmas TV specials, but that one I'm actually not familiar with. Lisa says, ding dang kids and their phones. Should have had them turn them off at the door, turn them in at the door. But then again, meltdowns would ensue. Yes, they would. Alex says, people forget that Kennedy and her husband Frank Marshall worked with Lucas pretty often in the past. Yeah, and George Lucas, I believe, or maybe it was Spielberg, one of them said she's the best producer they ever worked with. I Want My Slaw says, John Campea is the moron who said The Simpsons should be shown in the wrong aspect ratio. Yeah, like I said, he gets it wrong sometimes. And by the way, that was my question. I was the one who sent that in there. But yeah, no, he was dead wrong. And hey, good news. The next day, the day after John Campea said that, Disney Plus announced that they're correcting the aspect ratio in early 2020. You're going to have a choice. If there's people who want to see it in the 16:9, they'll have the option. You're going to have both available to you on Disney Plus, and I got no problem with that. Jesse says, relax, John Campea ain't that bad. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. He seems like the kind of guy I'd hang out with. There's some of these guys that I see, I'm like, that guy seems like a bit of a jerk. But I don't get that impression at all from John Campea. John Hines says, do you write in topic questions to Campea? I saw someone named Krazy Joe. Yeah, that was me. That was me. That was definitely me. Joey says, have you seen the new John Cena movie, Playing with Fire? I have not. I do have a movie review I have to post for a movie I did not care for. Should I tell you? Should I tell you? Should I save it for the movie review? Should I save it? Maybe I should save it. Anyway, there was a movie I saw 2 nights ago that I didn't care for, and I got to do a review on it still. I shot the going into the theater stuff, but I have not shot my actual review. So I have to put my review together. Sav is here. Hello, Sav. How are things in the UK? Bohemian says apparently the next Happy Meal toys will be Star Wars. Awesome. Then I will be going to McDonald's and grabbing some probably. Nathan says I only come here for the Super Chat Hippo. Super Chat Hippo is in the house. Here he is. Super Chat Hippo. Super Chat Hippo. Brent says, you ever watch the Missing Link movie yet? Just wondering. I owe you that, man. I promised you I'd do a review. I'm so sorry we haven't watched it yet. It's scheduling. It's all scheduling, man. Because I do want to watch it with my daughter. And her availability is tight because she does gymnastics, and then she's with her father. I'm her stepdad. She's with her dad, her biological dad, every other weekend. So I mean, it gets very tight. And then she has homework, and then she's got. It's always something around here, man. It's always something, especially where she's concerned, because we only have her every other weekend. So it seems like everything we need to do with her gets like condensed into. It's stressful, man. It's stressful. Punk Nerd says, I saw both episodes of Mandalorian and Imagineering Story. How is Imagineering Story? I haven't watched that one yet, but my God, is The Mandalorian ever fantastic. I am loving The Mandalorian, and I watched one episode of Jeff Goldblum. First episode. It's quite good. I really liked it. Marty says, did I like Flintstone vitamins as a kid? As a kid? If we have them in the house, I'll eat them now. Christine buys them for the kids sometimes, and I'll just... Truth is, I've been corrected. Christine's like, these are not for you. So no, I very rarely. I'll sneak one every now and then, but very rarely. And we usually don't have them because Kira won't eat them. She's crazy. They're delicious. Joey Baseball says, can't watch Toy Story 4 on Disney Plus either. Scam. You'll be able to, though. You'll be able to very, very soon. Conor McGregor asks, do I prefer the theatrical or Donner cut of Superman 2? Donner cut all the way. Brent Oberlin says, no problem, take your time while watching it. I don't get mad. I do gotta watch that, man. I'm sorry. It's timing. Ugh, sometimes I just feel like I don't have time for anything. Noah says Disney Plus isn't a scam. Disney told you all the episodes would be released week by week. Yeah. That's one thing I really love about Disney Plus. I love that they're putting out the episodes week by week. Whereas Netflix, I hate the Netflix model. Put them all out at once. I hate that. Because you got people who sit there and binge them all in a single night. So the thing will go up. And this happened with me with Stranger Things. Now, I'm going to have a very, 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 very minor spoiler for Stranger Things Season 3 coming up. So if you haven't seen Stranger Things Season 3 and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe walk away from the screen now because it's coming. It's a minor spoiler, though. Very, very minor. But, and here it comes. So brace yourself. If you haven't seen Stranger Things Season 3, which dropped in July, so it's been several months now, spoilers coming. But they dropped Stranger Things Season 4, or Season 3, on July 4th. Well, it's July 4th. You know, we're at a barbecue. We were at a July 4th barbecue. We weren't home. We weren't home watching TV. We were at a family barbecue. Well, they drop all, 10 episodes, 13 episodes, whatever it is. They drop them all. And the next day I'm on Facebook, and one of the websites that does movie, like one of your slash film, your IO9, I don't know, whatever it is. They had written an article, and it comes up in my Facebook feed, and the headline of the article was how the never-ending story bit ended up in Stranger Things season 3. This is very minor. It doesn't tell you what the never-ending story bit is. But this is day 2. The show just dropped the day before. And I'm sitting here going, well, maybe I didn't want to know that there was a never-ending story thing. Maybe I wanted to be surprised and not know there was a never-ending story thing. So, sure enough, when I finally got to the never-ending story thing that they referenced, my reaction was, oh, that must be the never-ending story thing. And I'm thinking, if I didn't know a never-ending story thing was coming, that scene would have been much more delightful. It would have been a complete surprise. It would have been like, how about that? That's fun. But I knew there was a never-ending story thing because this article came out the second day of release. It didn't tell me what the thing was, but now I know somewhere in these 10 episodes there's this never-ending story bit coming. I would have rather not known that. And that's the problem with this drop it all at once model. You got people who they watch everything, and then the spoilers are out there. They're just out there. And people like me who cannot watch every episode because we've got the kids, we got, all the things going on. We get maybe an episode or two a night. That's about it. Suddenly, boom, that's out of the bag. That's ruined for us. So I'm much more happier with the Disney model, I have to say. Let's see. Where was I? Jesse says, I preferred the Flintstone chewable morphine. Kyle says, Under Siege 2 is a good movie. One of these days I got to check it out. Bohemian says, I've been binge watching Hannah Montana on Disney+. We've been watching a lot of Spider... every now and then I've been sneaking in some Spider-Man 81. Punk Nerd says Imagineering story is good. Marty says you would never expect Nat Geo to do a show starring Jeff Goldblum. But thank God they did. Yes, Jeff Goldblum is a national treasure. Excuse me, I got hiccups now. Conor McGregor says, do you think the Snyder Cut can be released like how Warner released the Donner Cut? Dear God, I hope not. I really want them to bury that Snyder Cut in a pit 20 feet deep, and I don't ever want it to see the light of day. The way I see it, Zack Snyder really, really, really hurt the DC Cinematic Universe. Justice League did very poorly at the box office. Now, some people took that to mean it was a bad movie. Some people were like, oh, it didn't do well, it was bad. Well, that's faulty. That's faulty. Anytime someone tells you a movie must be bad because it didn't gross at the box office, that's faulty. If people didn't go to the box office to see it, that means nobody saw it. So nobody can really have an opinion whether they like it or not because they didn't see it. It really tells you more about the movies that came before. So Justice League's coming out, and nobody went to see it. That tells you they didn't like what led into Justice League, and that is Man of Steel, and that is Batman v Superman. And that's the work of Zack Snyder. The work of Zack Snyder was, and I like Batman v Superman, to be honest. I think Batman v Superman is a huge improvement over Man of Steel. I hate Man of Steel. But even Batman v Superman is problematic. And the people failing to go to the cinema to see Justice League was a repudiation on Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. So why are you going to give the guy who made the movies that drove people away, why are you going to give him control of Justice League? Now then we got Joss Whedon who stepped in and made the best of those movies. Justice League is so much better than Batman v Superman. It's so much better than Man of Steel. And it's because of Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon literally saved that movie. He literally saved it. There's one scene in that movie that delighted me so much in the theater. I was beaming with excitement when I saw it. And that was the scene where Superman used his super chilled ice breath. I got so excited because that is a time-honored Superman power that's been around for as long as I can remember. Superman has the super chilled ice breath. And David Goyer, who wrote Batman v Superman and wrote Man of Steel, did an interview with the Nerdist podcast, Chris Hardwick, a couple of years prior to Justice League. And one of Chris Hardwick's friends, Matt Myra, made a comment about Superman's super chilled ice breath. And David Goyer said, our Superman doesn't have that power. Our Superman does not have the ice breath because we found that to be a ridiculous power. Why would Superman have that power? And I got mad. I got mad listening to that. I'm like, it's one of his powers, damn it. You took on Superman. You took on Superman. You can't just go, well, I'm going to do Superman, but I'm a little embarrassed by this thing about Superman. So, no. No. This character has a rich history. If you're going to take on that character, you got to respect it. So as soon as I saw Superman blow that icy breath in Justice League, I'm like, that is Joss Whedon. That was Joss Whedon because Goyer and Snyder didn't want him doing that. They said, oh no, our Superman can't do that. Our Superman doesn't do that. And then he does it in Justice League. And I'm like, that was Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon, Snyder Cut, bury the Snyder Cut. I don't want to see the Snyder Cut. I hope the Snyder Cut never sees the light of day. But I really would love to see Warner Brothers lock Joss Whedon down, sign him to a contract, and I would love to see him make Man of Steel 2, write and direct Man of Steel 2, or Justice League 2. That is my dream. Joss Whedon gets it. Zack Snyder, and I like Zack Snyder. I liked his Dawn of the Dead. I like 300. I like his Watchmen. He was wrong for Superman. It's just all there was to it. When he was making Watchmen, said in an interview he didn't like Superman. He didn't know he was going to get hired to do Superman next. But he's doing an interview for Watchmen. He says, I don't like Superman. You hired a guy who didn't like Superman to do Superman. He was embarrassed by Superman. So what did we get? We didn't get Superman. They called it Superman. It wasn't. I'm on a rant now, and I apologize. Let's get back to the chat. Joey Baseball says, what was the spoiler from Spider-Man that you were spoiled about? I think it's been long enough. Anyway, does anyone mind if I say what the spoiler from Spider-Man was? It has been several months. Does anyone care if I say what the spoiler is? Joey, if I get enough people saying they don't care, then I'll say exactly what the spoiler was. Boredom Strike says, Joe, with so much of the cast and crew now supporting release of the Snyder Cut, do you think it's possible that it's a marketing play by Warner Brothers to feature the film on a streaming service, HBO Max? I doubt it. I doubt it because I think it would just cost too much to finish the movie, and I don't think they think it's worth it. Marty says, what Marvel DC character has not appeared in a film that you would most like to see? Booster Gold. Booster Gold, without question. Without question. Marty says, Watchmen is the only DC movie Zack Snyder ever touched that has any redeeming qualities. Well, I disagree there, because I think Batman v Superman has a lot of good in it. It's got a lot of problems too, but I think there's a lot of good in there. I Want My Sloth says, Megan Fox is a better actor than Gal Gadot. Even Kristen Stewart is a better actor. I think they're all pretty good actors, but I think Gal Gadot is probably the best of the three. I don't know. Kristen Stewart's a pretty good actor. She was really good in The Runaways. She was good in Adventureland. So I don't know. They're all pretty good, but I think Gal Gadot is the best of the three. Sel Tudio says, I remember Dean Cain doing the ice breath on Lois and Clark. Yep. Yes. The ice breath, it is a time-honored power of Superman. Marty says, the best part of Justice League was their attempts to hide Henry Cavill's mustache. And that's another thing. That got blown out of proportion. There was one scene in that movie, the opening scene, the scene where the kids had the cell phone and were interviewing him, looked horrible. Looked absolutely horrible, the mustache CGI'd out. Rest of the movie, it was barely noticeable. It was really barely noticeable. I mean, if you were looking for it, like if you were playing detective and like pausing the movie, like, freeze framing it on your Blu-ray, well, yeah, then you can kind of see it. But generally speaking, it really wasn't noticeable that they CGI'd out the mustache, except for that one beginning scene. Unfortunately, that scene, it was egregiously bad, and that's the first scene of the movie. That's the start. It's like we just sat down, we're just sitting in our seats, we're just settling in. What's the first thing we see? Badly CGI'd out mustache. Anyway. Jesse says, Joey, you can't say that. The feminists won't like that. What did Joey say? Gal Gadot can't act. Oh, come on, Joey. She's a great actress. She was terrific as Wonder Woman. James is in the house. Hello, James. Welcome. Toaster burner. Say it. What do I gotta say? What am I gonna say, toaster burner? Let me know. What am I saying? Or should Super Chat Hippo say it instead? Anyway. Joey Baseball says, who would play Booster Gold? There was a time, he's probably too old now, but there was a time like back in the early 2000s where I thought that Mark Paul Gosselaar actually would have been a good Booster Gold. In fact, I would have liked to have seen them bring, if anyone ever saw the movie Dead Man on Campus, his co-star in that, Tom Everett Scott, is that the name? Tom Everett Scott? The guy from That Thing You Do. I thought they were a really good team. Mark Paul Gosselaar and Tom. I like that movie a lot, Dead Man on Campus. And I actually thought the two of them together would have made a great Booster and Beetle if Tom Everett Scott had been Ted Kord and Mark Paul Gosselaar as Booster. I thought that would have been a really entertaining movie. Now, the funny thing is, if I'm not mistaken, Tom Everett Scott actually went on to do the voice of Booster Gold on the animated series, which is funny because in my mind, I had him as Blue Beetle to Mark Paul Gosselaar as Booster Gold. But I think Tom Everett Scott ended up being Booster Gold on the animated series. So my casting actually was within a hair of it. It kind of sort of actually happened. A couple of people say, tell the spoiler. Okay, all right. Here's my Spider-Man spoiler. And it might seem like a minor one. But, I mean, my wife thought it was minor. She was like, I don't know why you care. Why did it matter that you knew this? Mattered to me. I would have liked to have really been surprised. But the spoiler he gave me was that they brought back J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, which happened, obviously, at the very, very end of the movie. Sort of after the first round of credits. There was a first round of credits. Then we got the J. Jonah scene. Then there were more credits. Then we got another bonus scene, another Easter egg. But he went and saw the first show of the day, opening day, and before noon posted in the comments of one of my videos, I can't believe they brought back J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. And I just was livid. I'm like, why? You know I didn't see that movie yet. You know for a fact I didn't see that movie yet. What? This is an obvious attempt to just come in here and spoil something. Not just for me, but for you guys. Anyone who was reading my comments would have seen that. And it just really upset me. So I don't know. My wife didn't think it was that big a deal. I thought it was a big a deal. I didn't want to know. I would have rather not know. And the whole movie I was kind of stewing over. And that's another thing. I didn't know where he was going to come in. So the whole movie, I kind of just was stewing, waiting for him to show up. Whereas it would have been a total delightful surprise if he just showed up and I wasn't expecting it. Anyway. Nathan says, does I want my slaw with mayonnaise-based dressing or vinegar-based? Well, either way, I wouldn't eat that because I hate mayonnaise and I hate vinegar. Jesse says, I love Dead Man on Campus. That is such a funny movie. Isn't that a great movie? That's an underappreciated movie. Toaster Burner 35 says, I love this man. Me? Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you too. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Movie Edge says, do you think Spider-Man uses his X-ray vision just to check out women? I don't think so. I think Superman, as Superboy as a teenager probably did, but I think Superman is just probably way too moral. I don't think he would do it. Joey says, I still want to see the canceled Johnny Bravo movie with Dwayne Johnson. Was that a real thing? I never heard about that. Kill Switch says, Turbo Man needs a movie. It's turbo time with the Rock'em Sock'em Jetpack. I love that movie. James says, kick him? Might have a chance. My high school reunion's coming up, and he might show up, and I might just have to. He just better stay the hell away from me. That's what he better do. But I can go on and on and on about that guy. It's not just the spoiler. That guy, there's few people in the world that piss me off like that guy, and I got my reasons. It's a whole thing. Lachlan Monroe was hilarious on Dead Man on Campus as Cliff. Oh, was he the first roommate they tried to move into the room? He was like in Freddy versus Jason. Is that the guy? He was very funny. Toaster Burner says some people like to ruin things for others. Jerks. I agree. Yeah, and I think that's what. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's not that dumb either. He knew what he was doing. Marty says, who was the worst James Bond? Well, I'm not a huge Bond fan, so I'm the wrong guy to ask that. I'm not the right guy to ask who the worst Bond was, because I'm really not a Bond fan. But most people I know who are Bond fans think that Timothy Dalton was the worst. Most of my Bond loving friends don't like the Timothy Dalton movies. And I think most of them, it's not so much that it's Timothy Dalton's performance, but they just didn't think his two films were that good. But I know most of the people I know would probably tell you Timothy Dalton. It's very hard for me to say because I'm not really a Bond guy. Lisa says on the ska video, have you ever heard the band The Agents? It's the only ska band I like, and they're from Providence, Rhode Island. I don't know if I've heard The Agents. I don't remember if they were in the movie, which is not here right now. I must have put it on the shelf in the movie room there. I don't remember if they were in the movie or not, but I don't think I'm familiar with The Agents. But now that you've mentioned it, I'm going to write it down because I want to check them out. One of the great things about that ska documentary was I was seeing bands mentioned that I frankly wasn't familiar with. And I was like, oh, I don't know that band. And I actually found a couple new bands that I didn't know before. And of course, I dropped the notebook. I was going to write down The Agents, and the notebook is at my feet now. S Rose 40 says, is there going to be a Joker sequel or not? Okay, well, The Hollywood Reporter came out and said there was going to be a Joker sequel. And then, I believe it's Deadline came out and said there wasn't. So, bottom line, I don't know. I don't know. When things make money, they tend to make sequels. Joker made over $1 billion. It was very profitable. I don't doubt for a second that Warner Brothers wants a Joker sequel. Here's the thing. I got to get that notebook. Hang on a second. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't usually do sequels. He's not the kind of guy who does sequels. In fact, he was offered the role of Doctor Strange for Marvel. Turned it down because he didn't want to sign a multi-picture deal. So, I don't know if you'll get Joaquin Phoenix back. Todd Phillips might be willing to make a Joker sequel. Warner Brothers might be willing to make a Joker sequel. And Joaquin Phoenix might say, no, I don't want to do a sequel. In which case, what are you going to do? Keep in mind the film's called Joker, not The Joker. So I think there is a way out there where you could actually reveal he isn't the Joker. Maybe he's a guy who inspired the Joker. Would they go that route? Probably not. Bottom line, if they don't get Joaquin Phoenix on board, there's not going to be a sequel. And I don't know. I really don't know. I'm writing down the Agents ska band. I'm going to look them up. That is in the notebook. There we go. Kill Switch says guy who played on Her Majesty's Secret Service was the worst guy. I always hear that's one of the best movies, though. But again, that might be the movie, not the performance. But I know a lot of people always say that's one of the best Bond movies. Movie Edge says McRib or Popeye's chicken sandwich. Wow, your timing couldn't be more impeccable, Movie Edge. Because I had Popeye's chicken sandwich for the first time ever tonight for dinner. The McRib, not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. It's number one. It's pork heart. You know that it's a pork heart shaped to look like a rib. It's not real rib meat. And the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I'd probably say between the two, I'll say the Popeyes chicken sandwich. But the Popeyes chicken sandwich is a colossal disappointment. It is not nearly as good as people say. Chick-fil-A has it all over the Popeyes chicken sandwich. It was fine. I mean, it was okay. But it's a rather bland sandwich. It's not. There's nothing special about the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I don't understand what all the fuss was about. Kill Switch. That was George Lazenby who played Bond on that one. He definitely was boring. That was Jesse. Joey Baseball says, I didn't hear Nickelodeon canceled the Rugrats movie, but I'm glad they did. My childhood lives another day. Joey says the Popeyes chicken sandwich is pretty amazing. I don't know about that. Joey says just recast the Joker. There's been rumors. Marty says we need a Penguin movie now. I'm hearing rumors about a Lex Luthor movie. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. Joey says he's not as good as Heath Ledger anyway. Heath Ledger is one of my least favorite Jokers, quite frankly. Not because it was a bad performance, but because I don't feel like he was the Joker. He was a character they were calling the Joker, but he really, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker felt more like the Joker to me than Heath Ledger's Joker. Jesse says, yeah, I don't think Joaquin would do a sequel. He don't care about the money, so he would be a hard sell. I agree. Marie is here. Marie says, hi, stopping in. Had a fun bath night with the little. I'm glad to hear that. We just had a bath night before the live stream. Chris Pike 920. One of my favorite Star Trek captains is in the house. Captain Christopher Pike says Phoenix was interested in doing a sequel to the Joker if the script was good, but the director at the time wasn't interested in making one. We'll see. I mean, the movie made a lot of money. There's no question Warner Brothers is going to want one. But will they get the principals back? Who knows? Marty says if Marvel can recast Hulk and War Machine and act like nothing happened, then DC could do the same. I don't know about that. I mean, oh yeah, they could. But I think the circumstances are a little different. Joker's a $1 billion movie. The Hulk wasn't that successful, and War Machine was a supporting character in Iron Man. Obviously, they've recast the Joker before. It's not like Joaquin Phoenix is the first actor we've ever seen play the Joker, but in a sequel to the Joker, I feel like you'd probably be better off just getting a new Joker in the next Batman movie. Joey says you need to have the spicy chicken sandwich. That's the one I had. I had the spicy chicken sandwich. I didn't even think it was spicy enough. In fact, I didn't think it was really spicy at all. I was like, I don't know. I thought it was a disappointment. Nathan says, did I see the SNL Oscar the Grouch origin story? Not yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. Bohemian says, I was addicted to Popeye's chicken sandwich for a week because we had a Popeyes that opened up in my town a few weeks ago. I do love Popeye's spicy fried chicken. I'm a big fan of their spicy fried chicken, but this chicken sandwich really didn't do anything for it. For one thing, it really wasn't that spicy. Like their spicy chicken, like if you get like their spicy fried chicken, it's much spicier than the chicken sandwich. Jesse says Jack Nicholson was the best in my opinion, but that's mostly due to nostalgia. I would agree with you. I think Jack Nicholson absolutely was the best, and it's in part because I think he was the most true to the Joker. He felt more like the Joker to me. These other guys are all trying to kind of reinvent the wheel. It's all like, oh, here's my take on the Joker. This is my, like, it's like they're trying to reinvent something that really didn't need to be reinvented. The Joker is successful because people like him. They like the Joker. You don't need to reinvent that. Joey says, have I had the microwave popcorn that tastes like movie theater popcorn? I've had the kind called movie theater butter, if that's what you mean. Toaster Burner says, opinions on The Mandalorian, Watchmen, and or Westworld. Okay, I've never seen Westworld. I tried to watch 2 episodes of Watchmen. I've seen 2 episodes of Watchmen. I do not like it. I find it boring, and I don't think it doesn't feel like Watchmen to me. They're calling it Watchmen, but it doesn't feel like Watchmen. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go to episode 3 of Watchmen, but I'm really not impressed so far. I love The Mandalorian. So of these 3, I love The Mandalorian. And I really have not even seen Westworld. I got to check Westworld out. J2H is in the house. Welcome to the party, J2H. Lisa says, do you think you'll go to the Mr. Rogers movie? Oh, absolutely. No question. I'm going to go to the Mr. Rogers movie. I can't wait. Did I hear Tom Hanks' 6 cousins with Mr. Rogers? I did, and that is crazy. You know, Tom Hanks was Mr. Rogers' favorite actor. I had David Newell, Mr. McFeely, as a guest on the audio podcast about a year ago, and he told me that they were that Forrest Gump was Mr. Rogers' favorite movie. Mr. Rogers used to just watch Forrest Gump over and over again. He loved that movie. And David Newell told me that Fred Rogers would have been absolutely delighted to hear that Tom Hanks was playing him in the movie. Joey says they should get Kristen Stewart to play the Joker for Patman. Who's Patman? You mean Batman? But she's... I mean, that. See, again, you're reinventing it, though. I know it's all the trend now to, like, gender bend things, but I don't want the Joker reinterpreted. I just want the Joker. I just want the Joker as he is. Marie says, it's effing J2H in the house. Marty says, if they do a Lex Luthor movie, who should play him? I know it's uncreative, but I'm a firm believer that you don't have to change the casting of a role just because something's set in a separate continuity. There's this idea, and going back to John Campea has said this. John Campea has said when you reboot something, you need a new actor. You need a new actor. I say BS. BS. Audiences are smarter than we give them credit for. Audiences can figure out that even though it's the same actor, they're watching a different universe. Audiences can get that. And I think sometimes if you have an actor who excels in a role, why not bring them back? Why not bring them back? Like, what? It seems like you're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like you've got someone who's so ideal in a role, you're going to take them out just because it's like just so you can send a message like, we're different. We're different. If you asked me to cast Lex Luthor, I'm casting Michael Rosenbaum. I think Michael, and I got a lot of problems with Smallville. Smallville was not a great TV show always. Sometimes it was a dreadfully bad TV show. But Rosenbaum was great as Lex Luthor. He was so good in that part. I think he is the best Lex Luthor we've ever had. And I would bring him back in a second as Lex Luthor. If you said to me, Joe, you're in charge of Justice League 2. You're in charge, make Justice League 2. First thing I would do would be reshoot the post-credit scene in Justice League where Deathstroke and Lex Luthor meet on the boat. I would reshoot that scene. I'd keep Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke, but I would recast Jesse Eisenberg with Michael Rosenbaum. I would bring Rosenbaum back. Maybe it's uncreative, but I think that's what I would do. Jesse Sutherland asks, what's my ancestry ethnicity? That is without question. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading two things. I'm getting confused. I'm reading two things at once. What's my ethnicity? I am 50% Irish, 50% Italian. Though I don't really feel 50% Irish. I mean, if you look at me, I don't look Irish. I look Italian. I look like my dad. I look like my dad's side of the family. I think my personality is more Italian than Irish. So I don't know. I got 50% Irish ancestry, but I think the Italian 50% is so dominant, I really don't feel Irish at all. But that's, that's just the way it is. My mom's 100% Irish. My dad, 100% Italian. J2H says, I finally got my live streaming ability back today. Super pumped. What happened to your live streaming ability? I didn't know you lost it. What happened? Let me know. Movie Edge says, gotta go. Good night, all. Thanks for stopping by, Movie Edge. We appreciate it. Marty McFly says, Michael Keaton was in Mr. Rogers. Yes, he was a production assistant, and he played the role of Black and White Panda in the Neighborhood of Make-Believe. Where are we? Back Quinn Forever, sit in the house. Welcome back, Quinn Forever. Kyle says, out of all seriousness, what's your favorite Seagal movie? Oh, favorite Seagal movie. Yeah, it probably is Under Siege. Now that you mention it, probably is Under Siege. Joey says, I know who should reprise his role as Lex Luthor, Kevin Spacey. Oh, man. Spacey, you separate the art from the artist. Guy may be a creep, but he was really good as Lex Luthor. He was really good as Lex Luthor. And Jesse says Gene Hackman should play Lex. Gene was a great Lex too, but unfortunately he is retired. But they were both terrific. Marty says they did that with J.K. Simmons and Spider-Man. Yeah, because he was perfect. Why would you recast someone if you got the perfect guy? I don't know. Todd R says Maury is both Lex Luthor and the Joker. Maury would make a great Lex. But he does have those rugged movie star good looks, so I'm not sure. Lisa says, so cool about Mr. Rogers, Forrest Gump, and Tom Hanks. It's Kismet. I say Kismet, not Kermit. Speaking of which, is Deathstroke coming back to the DCEU? I don't know. Who knows what's going on there? They're taking a very interesting approach, and I'm not even sure what it is at this point, because they've already said that the Robert Pattinson Batman is not going to be connected or related in any way to the Ben Affleck Batman. But they've also said that it's going to connect with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. And James Gunn has said that it connects with his Suicide Squad. So it almost seems like they're retconning out certain elements of the past movies. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's hard to know what they're doing, but what they're doing seems to be working, because Shazam was amazing and Aquaman was fantastic, and we've got James Gunn doing Suicide Squad, and it's James Gunn, so that's going to be great. And the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is shaping up to be the cast, and talent behind it is immense. So who knows? We will see. J2H says, no idea. I tried to go live for 4 weeks, and they said I didn't meet the requirements, which is incorrect. So after 24 emails, I got to fix this morning. That's really bizarre. That is really bizarre, man. Well, I'm glad it's working. Maybe YouTube found out J2H's native language. Jesse says Marked for Death is his favorite Seagal movie. Joey Baseball says DC Studios can't afford Maury. You'd be surprised. Maury works cheap. He works very cheap. Jesse says, since Nolan, Batman has been a complete disaster at WB. I don't know about that. I mean, Affleck was terrific in the role. I think the Nolan movies, I'm not a fan of the Nolan movies personally. Nolan did my least favorite take of Batman. I'm still disappointed Affleck left, quite frankly. I mean, don't get me wrong, Robert Pattinson's great and all, but I really wish we had gotten the Ben Affleck Batman movie. Backwind says, I heard recently that Joker may be getting a sequel because it made so much money. Very mixed. On one hand, I definitely want to see more of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but at the same time, I feel Joker should stand on its own. We actually talked about this before you came in the chat. I don't know if it's getting a sequel or not. There's been mixed reports. Hollywood Reporter said today that it's happening. And also today, Deadline came out and said, no, the Hollywood Reporter got it wrong. It's not happening. So nobody knows if it's happening or not. I don't know how I feel about it. Quite frankly, I feel that the only way to do a Joker sequel, the only way really is to tie him into the DC Cinematic Universe, which is exactly what they didn't want to do. They said, no, it's a standalone. But what's the sequel going to be? I feel like the only place to go with the story is to do Joker versus Batman. And if you're going to do that, I think you got to use the Robert Pattinson Batman, because otherwise you're just going to confuse the audience. Excuse me. And this totally goes against what the Joker movie was supposed to be. And I know that it was supposed to be a standalone. It was supposed to be completely separate. But I don't know where else you go with it in a sequel. You either leave it be and don't do anything, or I think you got to tie it in. I don't know. They probably shouldn't even do a sequel. J2H says it's going live tomorrow night. Hope to see you there. I will try to be there. What time are you going live? Also, I'd love to see Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor. Bryan Cranston would be a good Lex. I could see that. Marty says, would you watch a film featuring the Super Friends heroes like Apache Chief, the Wonder Twins, etc.? I'll sit through anything. Yeah, absolutely. I'll sit through that. Wonder who. It depends who's directing it. But yeah, I'm sure. Why not? I Want My Sauce says, I'm very confused as to why people are so excited about being so successful. I personally boycotted the movie because I feel they stigmatized mental illness. I don't know about that. I'd be curious to hear why you think they stigmatized mental illness. I mean, I think we've all known forever that the Joker is mentally ill. He kind of has to be, I would think. Because I mean, he's always in Arkham Asylum. I don't think he's ever been depicted as being a sane, So I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I'd be interested in hearing more of your thoughts about it, though. Marty says definitely. Marty said that. Excuse me. Marty says DC should bring back Bookworm from the 60s series. He was a great villain, worthy of updating for a modern audience. I could see that. I actually always thought King Tut could be an interesting villain modernized, because there was a villain in the 70s in the comics called Maxie Zeus. You familiar with Maxie Zeus? Maxie Zeus thought that he was the god Zeus. And I always thought, because he was created in the 70s, I was always like, well, he's kind of a King Tut ripoff. They kind of took King Tut, but instead of thinking he was an Egyptian, he thought he was a Roman. Apparently Chuck Dixon, back in the 80s or 90s, Chuck Dixon was a writer for DC Comics, wanted to do a story in which he wanted to bring King Tut into the comics. And his idea was Maxie Zeus and King Tut go to war. And it would be a war of like Egyptian and Roman soldiers, each rallying behind their god figure. And DC Comics wouldn't allow it because they did not want to canonize King Tut as an official Batman villain because they thought he was too cheesy. But they had Maxie Zeus, so it's like, is King Tut really any worse than Maxie Zeus? They're kind of the same, aren't they? Anyway. Backwin says, Bookworm was such an awesome villain, one of my favorite original villains from the 60s series. I always liked Bookworm. It didn't hurt that it was Roddy McDowall. I like Roddy McDowall. Nathan Brittle says, the Joker is just misunderstood. I think you're getting the Joker mixed up with the Frankenstein monster. He's misunderstood. Backwin says, and by original, I mean the original villains created specifically for the 60s series. I got you. I understood what you meant there. I Want My Slaw says, the Joker trailer showed Joker in therapy, and as someone who goes to therapy, I don't like being depicted as a crazy person who becomes a villain. Okay, I hear you, I Want My Slaw, and I've gone to therapy myself. I've gone to therapy for I was having a little bit of depression for a while there. Though I got to say, there are people who really suffer from serious depression. I don't want to put myself on that level because that's not fair to those people. The people who really suffer from depression all the time have it a lot worse than I do. And I would feel like I'd be trivializing what they go through to put myself in that field, because for me, it was very situational depression. And I know I don't have it that bad. And I really feel for the people who do. So I don't want to trivialize what they go through by putting myself in the same bucket, because I know that's not really fair. But I think you got to recognize, though, that there are degrees. You're going to have people who go to therapy and are normal people who have a problem. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, whatever. But they're going to therapy for their reasons. But you are going to, on the same spectrum, have people that are far worse off. I don't think one, it's just my opinion, but I don't think one necessarily takes away from the other. But that's just my opinion. I certainly I understand where you're coming from. Connor says, have I rewatched The Black Hole on Disney Plus? Not yet. I'd like to. I love The Black Hole. I got Vincent up there. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, you can see him. I love The Black Hole, though. Lisa says, any thoughts on the new Harley Quinn trailer for Birds of Prey? Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I think the trailer's fine. It's very much a teaser trailer. It really doesn't give you much. So I don't love the trailer, but it's fine for what it is. I'm very excited for the movie because it is from the same screenwriter who wrote Bumblebee, Christina Dodson. And Bumblebee was one of the best movies I saw last year. So as soon as I heard she was the screenwriter of Harley Quinn, I'm like, oh, you got me. You got me. I am in. My anticipation for this movie just went even higher. So I'm really excited to see what she did with that script. Of course, I don't know the director. The director of the Birds of Prey movie, I'm not familiar with her work. So there is that. Joey says, Disney Plus expects me to pay them week to week, waiting for them to release The Mandalorian. How's that a Mandalorian? How's that a scam? How's that a scam? I mean, I pay for cable. And there's a new episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on tonight. They release it week to week. I like week to week better. I'm much happier with, like, I'd be disappointed if they dropped all the episodes of The Mandalorian, because I wouldn't have been able to finish the show yet, and people would have been ruining it for me. So I think it's terrific. I really hope. And in fact, I think Netflix is going to end up going week to week. I think the binge model is dying, in part because it doesn't work. The binge model doesn't work because your highly anticipated shows get their moment in the sun for like a weekend, and then the anticipation, or the buzz for those shows stops like immediately, because everyone's seen them all. Whereas when you do week to week, the buzz continues week after week. I think it's better for the show. I think it's better for the network. And I think it's a more satisfying viewing experience. Marty says, what about Mexican Joker? I'm not sure what that means. Who's Mexican Joker? Let me know. I'm not sure who Mexican Joker is. Backman Forever says, I'm mixed on Birds of Prey. I love Harley Quinn a lot, but I'm worried that it'll be extremely unfunny like Suicide Squad. See, I really like Suicide Squad. But also, you can't really compare it to Suicide Squad because it's a completely different writer, a completely different director. These are completely different filmmakers running with the same characters. So you're going to get a different product. It's sort of like how William Shatner or Leonard Nimoy directed Star Trek IV. And everyone loved Star Trek IV. Everyone loved it. It was Leonard Nimoy. Then you got Star Trek V. Same characters, same cast, same crew, same universe, but now William Shatner was writing and directing it. Didn't go over so well. People really didn't like Star Trek V. Then you got Star Trek VI. Nicholas Meyer comes back. Very next film in the franchise. Nicholas Meyer, who did Wrath of Khan, comes back. Everyone likes Star Trek VI. So the filmmakers really are the ones who are going to make it what it is. And Birds of Prey is coming from a completely different set of filmmakers than the people who made Suicide Squad. So, Connor says, I heard Harley Quinn is supposed to be rated R. I'm hearing that rumor too. I think DC's kind of overdoing it with the R ratings. I think it's a little too much. Brian says, yeah, I prefer episodic releases. Makes me appreciate the show more. Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I'm so happy Star Trek Discovery on CBS All Access aired week to week to week. I would have been really disappointed if it was all in a weekend, and that was that. Marty says, do I think any of the Disney Plus exclusives will ever get physical media releases? I kind of doubt it. I could be wrong. I mean, if they think there's a buck to be made, then sure. But sales on physical media are dropping, so it's hard to say. I kind of doubt it. Oh, wow. Will is here. Will is one of my old coworkers. Will, it is great to see you, man. How are you? Are you still at the old place of employment? And if so, how's it going there? Thanks for stopping by. Tell me, how you doing, Will? It's been forever. And guys, I've mentioned Will before on this channel. I've said that I used to have a coworker who would always ask me, have you watched Wolf of Wall Street yet? That was Will. And Will, I am embarrassed to say I still haven't watched Wolf of Wall Street. I have to watch it. I got to find the time in my schedule to watch it. It's just, I always say, if I don't see it in the movies, I don't see it. I don't know how I'm going to watch The Irishman. I got to carve 3 hours in this house with kids and pets and watch a show. I gotta get out to a theater showing The Irishman, or I'm not going to see it. Joey says, if Phoenix doesn't want to do a Joker sequel, they can always switch locations from Gotham to the White House. There you go. J2H says, Joe, when are you starting The Boys? Good question. I don't know. Probably not till January at the earliest. Because we got to get through Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we've already started Titans Season 2 on DC Universe. Backwind says, Marty McFly, let's hope so. Hulu has released their exclusives like Castle Rock, Handmaid's Tale. CBS puts out Star Trek Discovery Season 1 and 2 on DVD and Blu-ray. Marty says, Mexican Joker is from South Park. They said that ICE detaining kids at the border were creating a kid's traumatic backstory that could lead them to become Mexican Joker. Okay, see, I haven't seen recent episodes of South Park. Joey Baseball says they will release all Disney Plus exclusives on the Disney Movie Club exclusives. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Connor says you have to watch Wolf of Wall Street before The Irishman. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to. Will says, sorry, Joe, having issues broadcasting BBN on my TV. BBN. I'm not sure what BBN is. Jesse says Wolf of Wall Street is great, but it's 3 hours. Yeah. Man, I can't find time to watch a 2-hour show. That's the problem. This house is difficult, man. It's difficult. Connor says, do you plan on seeing Knives Out? I got my tickets already. I got my tickets for an early screening of Knives Out this Friday, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see Knives Out. It looks really great. Backwin says, when I heard Kevin Conroy was going to be in the new Crisis event, I got so excited. He's going to my home state of Louisiana in March for Comic-Con. Where in Louisiana are you, Backwin? You anywhere near New Orleans? You ever meet up with Nola Deej? Nola Deej, man, there's a great channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to Nola Deej, check him out. Hey guys, it's past 10. I am going to wrap up the live stream. Last chance to hear from Super Chat Hippo. Last chance. It's your last chance to hear from the Hippo. I Want My Slaw says, always great to see you on Wednesday. It's really the highlight of my night. Thank you, I Want My Slaw. I really appreciate that. I certainly like doing these live streams. It's always fun. It's always fun. It is... Backwin is near Baton Rouge. Big things are coming. Big things are coming. If you guys are anywhere in the area, if you're in the Philadelphia region, I know a lot of you aren't, but if any of you are, Water Tower Cinema. I did a video on Water Tower Cinema. They're having a grand opening this weekend. This coming weekend, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Todd R with $1.99 for the Hippo. Thank you, Todd R. Here he comes for you. That's the Hippo saying thank you. Thank you, Todd. Brandon Sullivan says, did I see Charlie's Angels? I did not. I did not see Charlie's Angels. But, as I was saying, Water Tower Cinema, Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. It is a brand new movie theater, just opening, grand opening this weekend. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night, they're having a red carpet event. Saturday, Anna and Elsa will be there. You can take the kids to see Anna and Elsa. Going all out for opening weekend. And I will be there covering the grand opening Saturday during the day. The theater opens, I believe, around noon. I'll in the early afternoon, I will be there covering the theater. Come on down if you're in the area. Check it out. And I hope to see you there. And I don't know exactly details yet, but I might be doing some more things with the theater as time goes on. I've been in touch with them, and there might be a relationship there where I'm doing stuff with that theater. So stay tuned. We'll let you know. And if you're in the area, then you can come out and maybe we can. I don't know. We're still brainstorming. Nothing is official yet. Brandon says, if you did, I wonder if you had the same complaint about what they did with the Bosley character. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie yet. Honestly, I didn't want to see it. I didn't really like the trailer. But I don't know. I might check it out. Joey says, if I didn't see Charlie's Angels, then what's the movie you saw that you didn't like? Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. You'll see. Review's coming. It's a movie that's out right now, I will tell you that. Will says, good luck, Joe, and keep wearing the PJs. Thank you, Will. Man, Will, thanks for stopping by. It's great seeing you. It's great seeing you. You know, I've been reunited with a lot of the old crew at my current job. My current job, a lot of the old crew from our the place where we used to work together. I'm seeing a lot of people who I haven't seen in about 5 years. It's pretty exciting. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Keep wearing those pajamas.